This is a crafting table, the very first block players usually craft at the start of any survival world. But I found a mod that makes the game so much harder, you'll have to spend an insane amount of time just to get it, and you don't get a single chance to make a mistake. It's called Better Than Wolves. This mod changes almost every single game mechanic, from gathering wood to food to completely reworked crafting recipes, all the way to how you take damage. If you stand in the dark for too long, you'll start dying. Even a normal squid can kill you. And the respawn system? Completely overhauled. If you die, you spawn in a completely different place with no coordinates, meaning your entire progress is basically wiped.
To beat this mod, you have to pour a lot of effort into survival. After watching other people try it, I decided to give it a shot myself. My goal? Get at least 1 diamond. But like in any survival world, first I needed wood. This would take a while because in this mod, chopping wood is an instant, and the first thing I got from the log was just bark. That'll be useful later, but I needed more. Breaking the next layer gave me a small stick. It looks useless, but without it, I couldn't progress at all. I could turn it into a sharp stick, but to use it, I first had to find some stone. In normal Minecraft, you'd just dig a couple dirt blocks under your feet, but here, even that is harder. Breaking dirt takes longer, and instead of dropping the block, it drops clumps of dirt, which you can craft into dirt slabs. Those are actually useful because sprinting and jumping drain hunger way too fast in this mod, and food is very hard to get early on. After digging down to stone, I started breaking it with my sharp stick. It took a while, but eventually I got a single pebble. With that, I could make my very first tool. Basically the equivalent of a wooden pickaxe. A sharpened stone can mine blocks faster, but it breaks quickly, so I decided to farm extra pebbles as spares. And even then, they don't drop every time.
Back on the surface, I chopped down more trees. Along with bark and sticks, logs also drop sawdust, which will help me survive my first night. Speaking of night, the sun was already setting. I had to build at least a tiny shelter, because being outside at night is suicide. Before hiding underground, I made a wooden bat and used it to hunt some chickens nearby. Every hit uses hunger, and I couldn't afford to miss. Then I dug out a small underground space and realized night had fallen. It was time to cook the food I'd gathered. I crafted a campfire from 4 sticks, and made the worst flint and steel in the game. Lighting it took forever and drained more hunger. But eventually, I got my first fire going. I fueled it with bark and sawdust, cooking my chicken while expanding my little cave. The chicken restored only 2 hunger points. Better than nothing, but still barely covering the hunger I'd spent making the fire.
Morning came and I stepped outside, where skeletons were hiding under trees and creepers were wandering around. I even used creeper explosions to quickly dig up more dirt clumps. I also gathered more wood to keep my campfire burning. If I wanted diamonds, I needed spider silk. At night, spiders leave webs on the surface. After some searching, I found some and tried breaking them with sharpened stone. It wasn't fun. 4 tool breaks later, I finally got a single piece of string. With it, plus sticks and pebbles, I crafted my first real tool, a stone axe. Now I could chop whole logs, get more sticks and sawdust, and kill mobs more efficiently, meaning I could finally start fixing my food problems.
The next day, I went exploring to find more string and animals, and I got insanely lucky. A nearly full iron sword dropped from a burning zombie. Now I had a fighting chance against mobs. While exploring, I realized I needed a better way to cook food and smelt resources. Campfires work, but they're slow and need constant attention, so I decided to make brick furnaces. That meant gathering clay from riverbeds, but every clay block only dropped 1 lump, and I needed at least 32. I crafted a stone shovel to dig faster, found some clay, and got just enough before nightfall to return to my shelter. That night, I lit 3 campfires, made an improved lighter using string, and restocked my stone and dirt. I also found gravel and got my first flint, which would be useful later.
The next morning, I searched for more clay and even found coal and sugarcane, perfect for when I'd finally get a furnace. But a cave spider attack in the jungle forced me to retreat. Back at base, I made 16 raw bricks from my clay. But in this mod, you have to sun-dry them before you can craft with them. They also break if mobs walk on them, so I built a small platform near my base to dry them safely. While waiting, I gathered even more clay to dry. The next night, I crafted my first storage piece from sugarcane panels, though it could only hold 1 item. Still, better than nothing. By morning, my bricks were ready and I finally crafted 2 furnaces. I started smelting iron dust I'd found in a small cave, which dropped 4 nuggets, just enough for the first step toward my crafting table. I spent that night weaving wool into fabric for armor, using knitting needles made from sticks. I even made a hook from a bone to prepare for crafting a fishing rod.
Morning came, and I knew I needed more furnaces for efficiency. While searching for clay, I fought another cave spider and barely survived. Then, disaster struck. It started raining, which meant my bricks couldn't dry. As if that wasn't enough, the most dangerous night event happened. The moon completely disappeared, removing all natural light. In this mod, total darkness slowly kills you. If I couldn't light a fire in the pitch black, I'd lose my entire run. I scrambled to start a fire in the rain. Luckily, lightning strikes lit up the area just enough for me to place and light a campfire, saving my life. The next morning, I finished my fishing rod using rotten flesh as bait.
I also crafted 2 more furnaces and tried fishing for the first time. Not very efficient, but at least it worked. When I returned to my base, I found part of it destroyed by an explosion I still don't understand. But my iron was finally smelted and I could craft my chisel, the key to making my first crafting table. 2 clicks on a stump later, I had it. Finally! The crafting table unlocked a ton of new recipes, including a stone pickaxe, my first step toward diamond mining. My next goal? An iron pickaxe, which needed 27 iron nuggets. To find that much, I had to move closer to the canyon and big caves. I relocated, set up a second crafting table, and gathered supplies. I also completed my first sugarcane storage chest. That night, an Enderman teleported into my open roof base, along with a zombie, so I decided to fix that in the morning.
Over the next days, I collected clay, repaired broken furnaces, explored new caves, and worked toward my next big milestone, a sleeping bag. With it, I wouldn't have to waste entire nights waiting for morning. When I finally crafted it and used it for the first time, I realized it speeds up time while sleeping, something I wish I'd made way earlier. A few more days of mining later, I had enough iron for my long-awaited iron pickaxe. The next morning, I stocked up on food, blocks, and torches, then headed to the canyon to find diamonds. After exploring deeper caves and digging toward the red level, I finally saw it, the blue shine I'd been working toward for so long.
Diamonds! I did it! This challenge was complete. There's still so much more to explore in Better Than Wolves, but I think I'll take a break for now. If you want to see a continuation, let me know in the comments. For now, I'm going to rest.